Welcome into Bills Breakdown. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. So we are going to break down the entire schedule for your Buffalo Bills and predict every game of the 2025 regular season. We'll go over all of that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we need your help. If you want the Bills to finally break through and win the American Football Conference in 2025, I need you to like today's video. Don't jinx it. If we can get at least 300 likes on today's video, that's going to guarantee the Bills are walking away with Lamar Hunt's trophy. Hit that like button, and we'll get started with today's show. So here's what we're going to do with this record prediction segment. We're going to go piece by piece over every single game and highlight some of the more profile matchups. But before we do that, let's tell you what the schedule looks like. It all begins week one with one of the best games of the entire NFL season on Sunday Night Football as the Bills square off with the Baltimore Ravens. They had a fantastic game last year in the divisional round where the Ravens came up just short, and now they'll be looking for some revenge to start off their 2025 campaign. Then week two, the Bills go on the road for the first time this season as they will take on the New York Jets, who look much different in the post-Aaron Rodgers era under new head coach Aaron Glenn. Then a few days later, it is the second primetime game in a 3-week stretch, a short week for the Bills as they return home to take on the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. And although I think the Bills would like to be playing the Dolphins in some snowy conditions at home, I think they'll take not having to go to Miami in September as well. Then in week four, the Bills will square off against the New Orleans Saints, who on paper look like one of the worst teams in football entering this year. Then you follow that up with another game on Sunday Night Football. This time it is a divisional showdown with the New England Patriots, who should be a better team this year with second-year quarterback Drake May, and then our old friend Stephon Diggs is over there now as well. Then another primetime game. The Bills, week 6, travel to Atlanta to take on Michael Penix Jr. and the Atlanta Falcons. That's followed with a bye week, week 7, close to the middle portion of the year. You can live with that bye week being there. And then week 8, they'll travel to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers, who aren't so good. That'll be a kind of like a second bye week almost for the Buffalo Bills there. Week 9, arguably the most anticipated game of the entire NFL season, Chiefs and Bills. The Bills have had their way with Kansas City in the regular season. Will that success continue? We'll talk more about that matchup coming up later on. Then week 10, the Bills travel to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins, where it shouldn't be too hot by week 10, thankfully. Week 11, it is a matchup against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have been a consistent playoff team the last few seasons. Week 12, another Thursday night game, this time against the Houston Texans on the road, followed by another road game against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 13. And then the home stretch for Buffalo, they'll take on the Cincinnati Bengals in week 14. Should be a fantastic showdown to see Joe Burrow and Josh Allen square off head-to-head. Week 15, they're at New England, followed by a week 16 game at the Cleveland Browns. And then week 17, they'll face the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles at home and wrap up the regular season week 18 against the New York Jets. Based on how the season goes, the Bills could be resting their starters as they were a year ago in week 18 against New England. That game to be determined whether that's a Saturday or a Sunday contest. Now, it's your turn to predict it for us here on Bills Breakdown. Our pinned comment today, how will things shake out for the Bills? Predict their record. I'll give you my record prediction coming up at the end of today's show, but we want to hear from you guys first. Wait in the comment section. Tell us what you think. For the week 1 matchup against the Ravens, I got a win for Buffalo. They're at home. I think that this bodes well for them. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, both should go toe-to-toe here. But what we saw last year in the AFC divisional round game between these two teams was a Ravens team that made a few too many mistakes compared to Buffalo. I think Buffalo, they're a little more cleaner in their game compared to Baltimore between these two sides. And I like what the Bills have done to improve their roster as compared to Baltimore. I think I would give Buffalo an advantage in that Sunday night matchup there, but it should be a fantastic game. Then week 2 against the New York Jets. I don't think the Jets are any good. This could be a blowout win for the Buffalo Bills. No reason why this game should even be close, quite frankly. I know Justin Fields is there, but I don't think that he can carry all the problems that persist on that Jets team to make this a competitive game. Week 3, Thursday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. I got that as a win as well. I know it's a short week, but the Bills should be just fine in that matchup. With Tua and Tyreek and some of these guys, we've seen some injury concerns for that Miami Dolphins crew over the years in recent memory. I know it's week 3, but I think it's a realistic question. How healthy are the Dolphins even going to be week 3? Week 4, we mentioned it earlier, the Saints are a bad football team. That should be a blowout win for Buffalo. And then week 5, you take on the New England Patriots in Sunday Night Football. I have that as a win. I do think the Patriots are going to be improved this year. I am sold on Drake May. I think he's going to be a franchise quarterback in this league. But I do think that they have a lot of work to do, especially when it comes to that offensive line. Drafting Will Campbell should help, though. The first loss of the year for me comes week 6. And I know what some of you may be thinking. The Atlanta Falcons? What? Well, usually every year with this Buffalo Bills team at some point, they lose a game they're not supposed to, a trap game of sorts. And a primetime game on Monday Night Football against a Falcons team that is going to be coming in with a chip on their shoulder of sorts after missing the playoffs a season ago. Michael Penix, I think, is going to be a fantastic quarterback in this league. I don't like that spot for Buffalo. I'll go with a loss there to Atlanta after starting off the season 5-0. You come off the bye, you take on the Carolina Panthers. I'll go with a win against Carolina in that Week 8 contest. I'm not sold on Bryce Young and that Carolina Panthers team at all. And then Week 9, I think the Bills do what they're supposed to do, and that's beat the Chiefs in the regular season. And although that would be great for morale and optimism of, wow, you beat the defending AFC champions, let's just face it, the Bills have not had the intestinal fortitude to get the job done when it matters in the postseason with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have been the Buffalo Bills' daddy in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes has owned Josh Allen in the postseason. And so, while that would be great if you won the regular season game, let's face it here, it's not going to mean anything if they don't get the job done when it really matters in the regular season. Who do you got in that Chiefs-Bills matchup in Week 9? You going with Buffalo or are you going with KC? If you're going with the Bills, type BUF for Buffalo. If you're going with the Chiefs, type KC for the Chiefs. Chime in the comment section and let us know. We are bringing you Bills coverage all the time here on Bills Breakdown as we're talking news and rumors. We are also talking trades, free agency, everything you need to know throughout this offseason. We got you covered here on the channels. We're bringing you more Bills content than ever before. And the best part about subscribing, it doesn't cost you a thing. It's 100% free. Subscribe now, youtube.com/Bills News. Turn on notifications so you're the first to know when we have new content here on the channel. YouTube.com/Bills News to subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Week 10, you take on the Dolphins. I think you get another win against the Dolphins there. And then you take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Bucs are the most slept-on team in the NFL. I think there's a chance the Bucs could end up winning the NFC this year. And Baker, with that offense, they got a better receiving core than the Buffalo Bills do with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and drafting Emeka Ibuka. I think this could be a shootout, and I'll give the edge to Tampa Bay to win that Week 11 contest. Week 12, the Bills take on the Houston Texans, and I'll go with another loss. Back-to-back losses for Buffalo. It's a short week. They head to Houston, Thursday Night Football, primetime game. I think the Texans, after having a sophomore slump from C.J. Stroud last year, I expect them to bounce back and be a very good football team competing for a shot to win the AFC this year. I'll go with the Houston Texans to win that one there in Houston. Then we go to Week 13 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers season very well could be done at this point in time. Right now, we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be their quarterback. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers would still be healthy by Week 13. You move on from George Pickens. I think the Steelers have a lot of problems. The Bengals game is going to be fun and exciting. It always is when these two teams square off. But I'll give the edge to Buffalo. I have some serious concerns about the Bengals defense, and are they even going to be able to keep Trey Hendrickson That's a whole nother story. A win against New England. I think they sweep the season series with the New England Patriots. I would be surprised if they did not win that game there. I think that they're going to be in good shape when it comes to that matchup there against New England. What Bills game are you most looking forward to this season? We have a few more games to get to, but we want to hear from you guys first. Chime in the comment section. Tell us what that game is that you're most excited about here in 2025. Wrapping up the regular season, you take on the Cleveland Browns, and Browns are going to be really bad this year. That should be a blowout win for the Buffalo Bills, even on the road. Week 17, I have a loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champions. I think that they have a much better defense than Buffalo does right now. They're such a physical football team that doesn't feel like a good matchup for me for the Buffalo Bills, although it should be a very good game between those two. And then wrapping up the regular season, I have a win against the Jets. Look, we don't know what's going on with Kansas City and Baltimore and some of these other teams. I think more than likely the Buffalo Bills are probably going to be in a position where they'll need to win a Week 18 contest to help out when it comes to battling for home field and such. I'll give a win for Buffalo there. So all in all, my record prediction, I'm going 13-4 for the Buffalo Bills here in 2025. I want to know, before we go, what will the Bills' record be this season? Get your predictions in now and let us know. Thanks for joining us here on Bills Breakdown. If you enjoyed today's show, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.